the Judder Man. This commercial is so unsettling that it has managed to win the title of Scariest TV Commercial of all time in the UK, and it landed as number 31 in the 100 Greatest Scary TV Moments. The commercial begins with what appears to be a puppet show, where the puppets not only make very jerky movements, but are also depicted pretty scary as well.
Beware the judder man, my dear, when the moon is fat.
The commercial then follows an elf-like man with spiky white hair that seems to haunt the forest in the winter. He pretty much resembles Jack Frost. He comes upon an unsuspecting traveler and convinces him to drink a Metz. The traveler then turns to a puppet. All the while, a poem is being read over the screen by a young woman. Pretty much everything in this commercial is creepy, from the art style to the story to the makeup to the narration. Basically, the only way to understand this one is to have a look yourself.
And sharpened ones at that. Beware the judder man, my dear, when the moon is fat. Judder beter Metz och snaps.
Levi's evolution. This Levi's commercial from the early 1970s actually wasn't considered totally terrifying at the time. It was apparently a very popular commercial, as this flowing and looped art style was very popular during the time period, especially in music videos. However, by today's standards, there's something pretty unsettling about this trippy commercial and its strange imagery. The Levi's commercial is meant to advertise multiple products and styles in one commercial, which was quite unique for advertising at the time. The video is a flowing and ever-changing depiction of not only their products but humanoid creatures as well. The ad starts with a conch shell, out of which swims a koi fish with a human face, which then becomes a smoking caterpillar wearing bell-bottom jeans on human legs, and so on.
Then where would he wear Levi's stay-pressed slacks, or Levi's fashion jeans? Would he put Levi's herringbone on his fins? Levi's stripes on his wings? With Dacron polyester. What would he put in the pockets of our stay-pressed bush jeans?
The idea presented is the evolution of man, from bacteria and shells to full-on humans, except that regular human faces are thrown onto each stage of evolution, along with a pair of jeans. As if these human-animal hybrids aren't creepy enough, the whole thing is narrated by a very deep, aged, and terrifying voice. The kind of narration that wasn't uncommon for the era, but was still fairly terrifying. The same voice was featured in several other Levi's ads, such as Stranger, but here it has a godlike echoing horror to it. By the end of the commercial, we see some relief with two human males using the original conch shell as some sort of football. It doesn't last long before one of them fans their legs up and rolls back into the shell.
Men, we're glad you walk on two legs. Otherwise, you'd never get the chance to wear a pair of Levi's.
This commercial has gone down in history as one of Levi's most disturbing ads, but they can't be doing too bad if they're still profiting after all these years. Kinder Surprise commercial of nightmares. Do I have to talk about this one? This commercial comes from the late 80s when Kinder decided the best spokesperson for their surprise eggs was Humpty Dumpty. Kinder Surprise eggs are chocolate eggs that open up to reveal small toys or prizes inside. This commercial is literally so unsettling that it's hard to watch, yet somehow it became very popular as a meme with several remakes and remixes made after it. The Humpty Dumpty creature looks more like an egg-shaped obese elderly man than an actual egg. His facial expressions are scary realistic, and its voice is strangely haunting as well.
Kinder, you both shaky. Me unscrabbly.
He unwraps the egg and shrieks, and then is even more surprised to find a toy inside the chocolate egg.
Chock-a-doobie! Doubly chock-a-doobie! Hop swabble! toy.
At least they got the surprise factor down for their product, but the Humpty Dumpty creature is pure nightmare fuel. Seriously, did this company think their best bet was to scar children for life? I can't think of a single kid in the world who would find this cute or amusing and not at least a little chilling. The worst part of this commercial is a very short scene where the camera is zoomed in very closely to Humpty's eyes when he blinks. He goes from a creepy human-like egg to an unidentifiable humanoid creature that is sure to haunt your nightmares. This is one Humpty Dumpty that we all hope falls down. Oh, and by the way, he does fall down. He throws his hands up to cheer and just falls backwards into a scene that we can only assume isn't full of eggshells, but is instead blood and guts. Surprise!
Yodel yum and choco scrum with multi-pumpable dice. Oh, lovely. Me screwball now. Snuggle. Whee!
Ronal Mcdonald debut. There's nothing too out of the ordinary for this commercial. Dated from 1963, this is the official debut of Ronal Mcdonald, the well-loved mascot for the fast food burger chain McDonald's. The clip was published on YouTube back in 2008 and was really brought into fame in 2011. This depiction of Ronal Mcdonald is much different from the one we see today. He wears a cup as a nose and a food tray as a hat. It's clear that the original goal was to have a clown costume that highly resembled aspects of fast food dining. Despite this brilliant idea, the creation that occurred looks more like a haunted scarecrow than a human dressed as a clown. But for those who have a deep fear of clowns, this creature still looks enough like a freaky shido to give you nightmares for a week.
Ronald! Ronald! Hey, Ronald! Here I am, kid. Hey, isn't watching TV fun? Especially when you got delicious McDonald's hamburgers. Ronald, you can't be on TV and watch it at the same time. Now, come on and meet the boys and girls. Oh, we've already met. I know we're going to be...
Towards the end of the commercial, Ronald's belt produces a tray holding a burger, fries, and a drink.
I know we're going to be friends, too, because I like to do everything boys and girls like to do. Especially when it comes to eating those delicious McDonald's hamburgers. A magic tray here keeps me well supplied. McDonald's hamburgers, French fries, and milkshake. Watch for me on TV. We'll have lots of fun.
This imaginary, of course, has caused some viewers to question if there was any sexual nature behind this, but it's likely that this was just the most convenient way to work the meal into the outfit. The actor that portrayed the clown was Willard Scott, who later grew to fame as the weatherman of Today on NBC. Even without the makeup and all these years later, you can still see a scary resemblance. Throughout the years, good old Mickey D's has had its share of scary commercials, questionable ads, psycho Happy Meal boxes, and of course several different designs for their popular clown. But this original portrayal seems to take the cake because it has that old 60s found footage aura to it that makes the already unsettling clown even more nightmarish. Halloween candy. October 31st is the one day of the year where we can all walk around and have fun dressed up as whatever we want. The whole month is also a great source of revenue for companies of all kinds. As many of us know from our childhoods, candy companies make the biggest profit off of the holiday, right next to horror films and costume companies. Not only do homeowners flood their local supermarkets to get pounds of candy for the adorable neighborhood monsters that go door to door, but people throwing Halloween parties get in on the candy as well. And let's not forget the day after sales when all the hungover bumblebees, sexy nurses, and taco suit wearing adults go in for their annual fix of cheap chocolate. With this kind of money pouring into the banks of Hershey's, Mars, and other candy empires, you think they didn't need to post ads to remind consumers that candy is the staple of the costume holiday. Apparently Snickers felt the need for this horrific ad though. The idea was that two kids are dressed as an old woman when they meet a neighbor of theirs to remind her that the neighborhood kids love Snickers. The ghastly costume duo then begin to dump pounds of Snickers into the woman's shopping basket as she looks on in horror. She finally manages to walk away and one child peeps through the robe and says, "We are definitely going to her house." Again, the concept itself wasn't too harmful. In fact, it's a pretty cute commercial aside from the absolutely terrifying costume that these children decided to use. First of all, their heights combined create a totally towering and well-built old woman that seems to have trouble balancing. The clothing they use seemed dirty and old, like something they borrowed from their grandma that has been dead for 5 years.
Hello, Mrs. Jensen. You don't have any Snickers in your shopping cart. The neighborhood kids love Snickers on Halloween. Let me help you.
And that mask is like an imitation of drag makeup from Satan's nightclub. Plus, the kid's eyes peering through the holes of the mask make it even worse. Overall, this costume was scarring, but maybe that's the point. Halloween is all about having fun while being scary at the same time, which seems to be exactly what this commercial did.